Good evening, people. It's Jacob on the one up top. Hope you had a blessed start to the beginning of your week. More so, you're probably going to see me or see this video anyway on the Tuesday because I'm doing this late night. Sat there and thought about yesterday's proceedings and what's going on with Tottenham in general. So, I sat there, had my dinner, had a glass of the old Merlot. I thought to myself, I want to do a video while it's all boiling around in my head with this mad club that I support, Don't know, sometimes I think to myself, why do I support this team? But then I believe in God, so everything happens for a reason. Don't know what the reason is, but I support them. So, I don't even know where to start with Tottenham anymore. Like, my club's always been a circus. There's always been something going wrong, I remember being young, being a circus when my dad and my uncles were showing me what football's all about. Getting a little bit older and explaining to my mum when my old man's passed away that Tottenham's a circus. Becoming a man and going out with all my friends and all, my brothers and all that. Still a circus. Like, I've never been a Spurs fan and been being able to boast, because the club's always been a joke, Like I always say on my streams, I've consistently educated my son to the point where I think I might have educated him too much, because I can just see it in him that if I keep going, he's either not going to like football, he's not going to support Tottenham. Like that's how deep it is right now. So, but again, I always say to my kids, I always say to people that know me that it's a realist. I don't go out and buy the merchandise. I don't go and buy that. The only reason why I put this on is to back up the fact that this was probably the last time I bought a shirt. And the reason why I bought a shirt at this point was because this was probably one of very few times I believe that Tottenham had a plan. We had a plan. Whether, I generally don't believe Daniel Levy put that plan together. It was an accidental thing that became something that was of a true blossom. But I remember who the manager was. The manager was somebody that I've wanted. I've wanted him back. He's the only manager I can think in world football that would put Tottenham at the top of his priority list. He knew what that meant. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about the badge. I'm talking about the heart. He knew what every Tottenham fan wanted. There can't be a Tottenham fan that was disappointed when Pochettino was at his peak. But in typical Tottenham fashion, I'm hearing that Pochettino is going to Chelsea. Now, there's a lot of Tottenham fans in uproar calling him a traitor. How is he a traitor? Because it's pretty clear that he was pretty much indicating when he was at PSG that he wants to be at Tottenham. So, he's not even... He's managing Mbappe and still flirting with Tottenham, which is a madness in itself. So, that proves how much he loves this club. But then people are moaning that, I'm seeing people that I know personally. I know people on Twitter that when we got rid of Conte and I was hyping up about Pochettino coming in, these guys were telling me that I'm an idiot. Why do you want to go back to the dead wood? But these are the same people, and I'm not going to call you out, but you're the same people that are now moaning that Pochettino's gone to Chelsea. Why are you moaning? If I'm honest, that appointment, so to speak, if it happens, proves exactly what I always say. There's a reason why when there's a manager that's managed Chelsea and managed Tottenham, generally he manages Chelsea first and goes to Tottenham if he's desperate. But there's never really been a manager that's managed Tottenham and gone the other way, unless he was of an elite pedigree. Now, if you look down the years, correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to comment. I don't remember too many managers that managed Tottenham and then went to Chelsea after what they did at Tottenham. We've had some good managers in my time. We've had Harry Redknapp. We've had One day Ramos had good pedigree. We've had AVB, we've had Conte. But generally, AVB, Conte, these are guys that were at Chelsea first. Maybe, whether they cut the mustard or not, Chelsea didn't want them at some point. So Chelsea said, whatever, you're surplus to requirements. But then Tottenham have just gone, oh, please, come and manage our dead club. And then they haven't succeeded. Not because of their own fault, because of the manager, the stewardship that we have at our club. But for once, we've got a manager that did well at our club, went to PSG, sat there for ages, and now Chelsea, who are a bigger club than us with more money, about to go and get him. That speaks volumes. Pochettino, if Chelsea think he's good enough right now, how are Tottenham cheeky enough to say that he's not? We haven't done anything better since he left. We haven't done anything better before he arrived, let alone when he left. You know what I mean? No manager in my lifetime has took us to the Champions League final. No manager in my lifetime has given us consistent European football, let alone Champions League football. But I'm hearing Tottenham fans telling me, no, we don't want him, we don't want him. I'm like, well, if I'm not going to sit there and say you've got to go back through everyone, but I'll hear a lot of Tottenham fans telling me Pochettino's not good enough, but they wanted Harry Redknapp in their interim. Didn't Pochettino do better than Harry Redknapp? So you want Harry Redknapp to come in and do his thing, which I was all right with. I'll be happy with Harry Redknapp at the minute. But then you're not happy with Pochettino, who's better than him in all angles covered. Like, give your head a wobble. For me, Pochettino, good luck, man, because you don't want to come here. It's an absolute circus. When I talk about circus settings, you look at what's happened. Like, for me, I feel like I need to stop talking up on Tottenham to my friends, because when we got the battering yesterday, I was on the phone to one of my friends, and, after I de-stressed, because I don't really normally stress about Tottenham, but I just saw a load of wimps in front of me, and I thought, nah, I feel like I've got to get this energy out of me, because I don't like seeing men not being men, right? So I remember being on the phone to my friend, saying, like, imagine, like, Stellini gets sacked tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, swear. I said, but if he gets sacked tomorrow, it'd be Ryan Mason. But he was just chatting and joking. And I just said, look, man, if Stellini gets sacked here, he'd be sacked. It'd be Ryan Mason. I wake up in the morning now and they're talking about they want to discuss terms with Stellini and have a little chat. And then I'm seeing this bollocks of a statement that Daniel Levy says, as if he feels my pain, as if he feels the Tottenham fans that I know, the 60,000 that turn up every week, people spending grands on, as if you feel our pain. Because like I said in my video yesterday, if you felt my pain, you'd have my brain, which would in turn make you make the right decision. If I woke up in the morning and I was able to pull the strings, as a businessman, I could never touch Daniel Levy. But if someone told me, Jake, what do you think we need to prioritise? And you told me to do a PowerPoint presentation, it would be to prioritise the people that are turning up, the people worldwide that support Tottenham, whether they're 10, 20, 30 or 60. Let's put a smile on their face. We've become this club that is the laughingstock of English football, borderline Europe. And you're telling me that you feel the same way as I do. Like, I'm not going to speak up for everything. I'm going to speak for myself. I've got to the point where I don't even have the same love for Tottenham anymore. I'm a single man at the moment, but my ex-girlfriend will tell you, like, Tottenham, not my whole life, but everything revolved around Tottenham. It's like, I'll do anything to make sure that Saturday, if we were kicking off at 5 o'clock, I'm not disturbed for 2 hours. Monday night football, not disturbed. Sunday after church, not disturbed. Why? Because there were certain periods where I believed, or basically we had hope, because, when we had Martin Yole, for instance, I had it in my head and I was a realist. I knew that we wouldn't be able to surpass Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea and Liverpool at the time, because they're bigger clubs, better clubs with better players. But Martin Yole made us believe. So I used to enjoy that. We had Harry Redknapp, again, as somebody that made us believe. Pochettino, Everyone made us believe. But then for me, it's like, I clocked it early, and now I feel that Tottenham fans in the round are seeing what I saw 5-6 years ago. Is that Daniel Levy and the club in the round, what they're doing is they're friend zoning Tottenham fans, friend zoning us. Now, a lot of you be confused as to like, what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is this. Now, I'm a man, so I'm telling you, if you're a man of, 20, 30, 40, I don't care who you are, at some point you've been friend zoned. There's a woman out there or a girl out there that you had a lot of passion for, you fancied her, whatever it was. You wanted this girl to be your girlfriend, right? Now, when you've been in that position of being friend zoned, I was friend zoned when I was a teenager. It's one of them, you just learn from that quickly. But I know people that are the same age as me that are getting friend zoned now, which is mad. But in that time, it's like that girl, all you saying to yourself is that I want to be with this girl. It doesn't matter who comes across you in the streets, at work, wherever it is, this is the girl for you. Now, all that girl has got to do is say to you, babe, can you give me some, can you give me a tenner? And when you're friend zoned, you're like, oh, she called me babe. Not thinking that you idiot. She don't like you, but you're giving her a tenner, right? It gets to the point where she could come round and she wants to chat to you about the fact that she's just breaking up with her ex-boyfriend. Or the man that she actually fancies doesn't show interest in her, and you're always there for her, right? And people are telling you, what are you doing? But you're not listening. So it's the same with Tottenham. It's like Daniel Levy is that girl that has friend zoned 70% of our fan base. I'm hearing, so I've had people over the years, like, oh, this, that. And I keep telling them, I ain't buying those shirts. I know I've got kids, I'm not buying them shirts. I'm not taking them to games because I'm not pumping any money into this club. But I know people that are friend zoned. They go to the games every week. They pay bare money. They'll buy all the shirts, socks, boots, training gear. But you've been friend zoned. If you're a Tottenham fan listening to me, likely it is majority of you have been friend zoned. Because, when I go back to the analogy of the girl, if you're a boy or a man and you've been friend zoned, yeah, that girl knows that all she's got to do is come round one time and look nice. So I'll give you an example. If you're friend zoned by a man and the girl rings you and says, oh, you know what? Can I come round in the next 10 minutes? I need a favour off you. So straight away you're like, wow. This is the moment. So you're hoovering, cleaning up the yard. You go and get you dash on some aftershave and that. Even get that emergency bottle out. Thinking, right, this is the time. Then boom, you open the door. She's looking fire. She's smelling like perfume. All of that. She's looking better than you could ever imagine. So you're thinking, this is the moment. So she comes in and says, right, let me go to the toilet. So you're there like sorting yourself out. You even change your top. And you're thinking, right, here's the moment. And she comes in the living room and says to you, babe, how do I look? And you're like, you look absolutely amazing. You look flawless. All right, cool. Because I've got to go and meet my ex-boyfriend again. So I just want to know that I look nice before the cab turns up. At that point, you'll feel like an absolute prick. But that's what Daniel Levy is doing to a lot of Tottenham fans. But then the problem is they feel like a prick, but then they still go and do it for the same girl the following week. So it gets to the point, the girl keeps coming round every week and saying, do I look nice for the next man? And you're allowing it. That's how you are as a Tottenham fan. For me, as a Tottenham fan, it's like that. It's like Boris. Boris buoyed off everybody. And I kept telling people, these restrictions ain't the right thing to do. And everyone's like, nah, Jake, you got to separate. You got to wear masks. You got to do boom, boom, boom. Do all that. I don't know how many people that I used to say, are you dumb? And then now they come to me and go, Jake, you were right. Same with Tottenham fans. They're coming up to me now, Jake, you were right. I'm like, well, yeah. I've got love for you though, so I'm telling you what to do that's right, but you'd rather listen to a bald prick that hates you. Check in. Now, if there's Tottenham fans out there that still think Daniel Levy's doing the business, yeah, I don't know. I don't know none, but trust me, if you're listening, man, like, you probably need to, I don't know what you, You know what? One thing you need to do, have a little bit of that, mate. Knock it. Put yourself to sleep. Might jig your brain cells a bit. Stupid. But enough on that. Let's just get to the point where I'm going to talk about more stupidness. I don't want to go on for ages. We've highlighted the madness that goes on at Spurs. Stellini's just been sacked. Just another thing to rub a stamp on. So, Stellini, cheers, bruv, for that dead stint. He's gone, and like I alluded to, I've got to start speaking to an existence, because I was speaking to my friend, saying, imagine if Mason comes in charge, and that's literally what's happened. That's happened on the day that Pochettino's looking like he's going to Chelsea. Brilliant. Is Ryan Mason going to come in and change that? For me, like, Daniel Levy don't care about this club. He's like he's joking with us. It feels like Tottenham fans are a box of rats. We're like in a box of rats, and they deal with medicine, and that becomes an experiment, doesn't it? So it gets to the point where they're like, let's see what happens when you chuck in some sugar, and then the rats go mad, and then they chuck in some water, and then the rats drown. That's what it feels like Daniel Levy's doing with us. He's just taking a piss and seeing how stressed he can get. You can't tell me that he's doing anything for the benefit of the club. Like that waffle that he put up in the speech about he cares. He don't care. You know what I mean? And now we've got Ryan Mason in charge, the guy who flopped last time. Now, for me, I want to allude to the fact that, Daniel Levy said in his speech to the Cambridge University that he wants Harry Kane to stay here, he wants Harry Kane to be a legend, and he wants Harry Kane to win trophies. Imagine being Harry Kane, right? So you were flirting with Man City, and rightly so, but you've gone, you know what, I'll stay and see what's happening because Conte's staying. So no matter what you think, Conte's CV suggests that in the past he's been a world-class manager. Right now, I think his tactics are outdated. I don't see too many coaches doing that. And the ones that aren't setting the world alight. Mourinho's doing well at Roma, but them tactics are dead. Atletico Madrid, they won things in the past, but tactics are dead. It's one of the ones you're not going to, it's not sustainable football. But Harry Kane has watched Conte come in, got us into the top four, have a little bit of a bad period and get sacked. Then he's watched Stellini come in and he watched him get sacked for Mason. So Harry Kane's watched a world-class manager lose his job to his assistant, and then his assistant lose his job to his assistant. But I'm still seeing Tottenham fans genuinely believing because of Alan Shearer's record he's going to stay. Now, Alan Shearer's record is a reason why he'll stay in England. Man United, need to just be going in hard for this guy. Because I don't like Man United. I can't stand him. But I'm like Danny Rose on Sky Sports yesterday, thinking to myself, he deserves that chance. Danny Rose has played for Tottenham for a long time. But I love Danny Rose. Even when Danny Rose was kicking off with the Sun newspaper, All or Nothing, all Tottenham fans were like, Danny Rose this. Everybody knows me. Shout out my cousin Bob. He knows. When I saw that Daniel Levy cussing out from Danny Rose, love that. Danny Rose is my Jenner, because I was like, mate, if I played for Tottenham, that's what I'd do. Do what you want. Danny Rose was a Man United fan and he loved Tottenham. So, when Man United are coming in and Daniel Levy's taking the piss out of him, I want to go. Do you know what I mean? And, Danny Rose saw what I was seeing and he was there. So he was like a voice for me. But generally, 70% of Tottenham fans complained about Danny Rose going out in the newspaper, but then now they're the same people saying they're saying the same thing as Danny Rose. Stupid. Like, literally, Daniel Levy has got a lot of our fan base like this. Like, if you look on social media now, on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you go, all of a sudden, like, Tottenham fans in their droves are like, this is enough. It was enough about 8 years ago, man, but you lot weren't seeing it, and people like me were getting cussed for it. That's why, when it's going mad like this right now, generally, I laugh. But when I laugh, people are like, you don't support Tottenham. No, you're just 5 years late. You're 10 years late. I don't know how many years you are late. I got stressed with... I started questioning Enoch Group from Martin Yole. Soon as they started doing their thing with Harry Redknapp, dead. Like, I can't take you lot serious. Pochettino and all that stuff, that happened by accident. They were getting Pochettino in to cover the cracks, and he just exceeded expectations, not because of what they said, it's because of what he said. Like I said on my video yesterday, Pochettino's a man of pride, so he was like, I'm going to turn this club into what they deserve to be. Bun the Carling Cups, we're going to go for the Champions League, we're going to go for the Premier League, and everyone laughed at him, but he was close. But then the dickheads up top that ain't got no pride didn't back him. So it's one of those, man. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about with Harry Kane. If I'm Harry Kane, I'm looking and I'm thinking, right, Ryan Mason's in charge again. That's not going to give me no belief. Ryan Mason's the last manager that stopped me from winning the cup. Don't get twisted. Ryan Mason, he took the job, and he's not like he was managing the team for ages, but he was in charge of that cup final, and we lost it. So we can't win a cup now, but it's like this guy didn't win us anything anyway. So why are we not getting in another manager for a bit of bounce? Now, if you don't want Pochettino, that's fine. But there's no significant... What's the plan? I don't know what's going on. Like, Pochettino, fine. If you don't want him, cool. Nagelsmann wants to chill out, cool. So what are we doing then? So for me, it comes across like Daniel Levy, like I keep saying, week in, week out. He just covers cracks. So he's like, hey, just stick him in and shut him up. He does things to shut us up, not for us to go forward. And, Tottenham fans are now starting to realise, that Cambridge University interview, if that happened 5-10 years ago, I'd be called Mr. Negative Nelly. I'd be looked at as like, oh, Jake, all you do is moan. Now I'm getting the Tottenham fans that have got the same energy that I had sort of 5-10 years ago. Why? Because I'm a realist. Hence the reason why I'm that guy that when people telling me to lock down, I ain't locking down. Because I know in 2 years' time, you're going to realise that was stupid. You know what I mean? So, when you look at that speech, man, it's like, it's when he says like, oh, we've been successful because we've beat that other side of North London and it's been an incredible journey. Tottenham fans are in uproar now, but I've been saying that's the parameter. It's so obvious that that's the parameter that they set. And because Daniel Levy said, yep, as long as we finish above Arsenal, most fans have gone, yeah, we finished above Arsenal. When Arsenal don't win a league. Like, it's good to have jokes about Arsenal not winning the league, but for me, I catch joke because I've got friends that give me grief all the time because of this badge. My best friend supports Arsenal. I've got cousins that support Arsenal. I've got uncles that support Arsenal. So it's like, it's just banter. But realistically, every time, when they drew Southampton, I had to laugh about it with my cousin on the phone. But then I deeped it and thought, should I even be doing that? You know what I mean? It's not like we're doing any better. But, if Arsenal finished second and we finished fourth, Tottenham fans would have an absolute party. Because we're like, oh, all that chat and we got in the Champions League and so did you. But then, like I keep saying, it's the same energy as Aston Villa and Birmingham City. If Aston Villa finished in the Champions League and so did Birmingham City fans that I know would have a party for about 10 weeks. It's as simple as that. And they'll literally admit they're a smaller club and it's jokes. But then we're Tottenham doing exactly the same thing as Birmingham City. The difference is that we seem to think we're a big club. We're not a big club because there's no one from the top end of the club, which is Daniel Levy and the Enid group, to the fans. As a group, we're not moving like an elite club. And everybody's got their viewpoint. But the club's in that much of a disarray that everybody's right. Like, I can sit there and say Enoch out and someone can say Enoch in and we'll be both right. Because when that person's saying Enoch in, the business is excellent. Like, business-wise, they are the best in Europe. I'll go as far as that, yeah? But when I'm saying Enoch out, I want to see what's going on the grass. So I'm right. But then the problem is, me and my friend will go at it for about 5 hours, but we're both right. It's a horrible thing, and for me, Daniel Levy is the biggest narcissist in football because the things that he says, a lot of people believe and a lot of people it'll make you think. So, when I go back to what he said in the Cambridge University, He said there's no direct link from money and success. Now, I've been listening to a lot of things. I listened to predominantly Simon Jordan, and he said exactly the same thing I was thinking. It's like, how can you say that? Because if we're talking about pumping money into a club, look at Man City and Chelsea. Man City were a club that everybody laughed at. They were literally like the golfing class in Manchester between Manchester United and Man City was like the biggest golf in the world. Do you know what I mean? Apart, Liverpool and Everton, you might argue there as well. Massive. But then it's like they've pumped money in, and Man United fans don't chat to Man City no more because they're probably thinking, well, if you're a Man United fan of my age, you've had all that glory. Give it 10, 15 years, they're not going to be far off you the way they're going. Unless Man United get bought out and then they start doing their thing. Right? So if we're talking about loads and loads of money, Man City and Chelsea prove, keep pumping, nice. Even Newcastle, look, they pumped us 6-1. They've been flirting with relegation more often than not. Bit of money, calm. We'll just dash off Tottenham, right? And then if you want to talk about minimal, you're looking at Leicester. Leicester won the Premier League spending less money than us. Wigan won the FA Cup spending less money than us. Arsenal haven't really spent that much money this season in the fact that you would not expect the amount of money that they've spent and the personnel they bought that they'll be in a title challenge. But Arsenal have done very well. We all ridiculed Arsenal for, who's Ramsdale? Who's this? But then they've backed the manager. They had a plan. They had a strategy. And the likelihood is they weren't looking to win the league, but they were looking to challenge on all fronts and do the best that they can. And they've done very well. And if they fall short, we all laugh and joke, but, hats off to Arsenal, because if they didn't do what they were doing, Man City would just be laughing at everybody because we've relied on Liverpool to carry the mantle. Arsenal have took that over now. Man United will probably do it in the years to come. Chelsea as well. But, it's just ridiculous. Daniel Levy talking about an incredible journey. For me, it's been a stressful journey. You know what I mean? The only reason my son supports Tottenham is because his dad does. Do you know what I mean? That's it. But I'm not going to sit there and encourage him not to do it because I don't want him to get in that frame of mind where he's changing club to club because it's not going well. Because if it was that easy, I would not be wearing this shirt, mate. I'd probably be wearing a badminton shirt or I'd be in a swimming costume because I'd rather just take up a different sport. But it's just, for me, where do we move from this? Because the reason why I've labelled this video Only Fools and Tottenham 2 is because I'm going to continue on this series because it's just all fools. We're not even talking Rodney and Denzel anymore. Mickey Pearce is here now. We got Mickey Pearce. We got Jevon. If you watch Only Fools and Horses, you got the whole soprang of idiots. You know what I mean? And it's just going to get worse. We've got Man United midweek at home. Am I excited to watch that game? No. I'll probably go and play football instead. And for me, it's a madness that I would, as much as I love playing football, if Tottenham are playing, I generally try to watch them. Am I going to turn up to watch that? No. And then we've got Liverpool. I'm going to be with my cousin. And we're going Anfield, and we all saw what Liverpool did to Man United. So if we go to Man United at our ground and get beat like we have done the last couple of times we've been at home, 6-1 is light work, because when we go to Anfield, it'd be like everybody's been cussing Darwin Núñez. He'll probably bang hat-trick. Salah needs to score a couple of goals to get above Harry Kane. There you go, mate. Cody Gakpo probably get a goal. Henderson's been getting a lot of slack from the Liverpool fans. They probably let him score. He'll probably score a free kick, something like that. Trent Alexander-Arnold will have our defenders panicking because that guy on the ball is different class. I really ain't feeling Tottenham, you know. It's really bad. Like, there's a reason why I'm having my last glass. I'm having my glass because I'm celebrating life. I'm saying that's my last one before I go on another little detox. But I'm also thinking to myself that that's the last sip when it comes to Tottenham. Like, I can't, you know, if Tottenham was a drink, I don't want no more. I honestly don't want no more. Like, I'm going as far as saying that I don't, I can't even think of a time where I'm gonna buy another ticket, which I haven't done for about a year or so now. I'm not gonna buy myself a shirt. You know, if my son wants one, fine. But if he don't want one, I'm not buying in. And it's just a sad affair. Simple as that. And it's got to the point where I'm happy to take the banter. I'm happy to take everything on that everybody says. And it is what it is, you know. We move on. So, you know, I'm going to do a video on the game in the midweek where we entertain Man United. So I'll probably do a before, middle and after on that. So if you like what you saw in the Newcastle reviews, then feel free to make sure that you're liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing, because I think that'll be more of an entertaining discussion. And then, you know, following from that, we've got Liverpool at Anfield. So mark my words, if this is your first time logging in, or you're somebody that's been regular but you haven't hit the notification bell, just do all you can to make sure that from now to the end of the season, you're listening to me. Whether you want realism, jokes, stress, madness, just log in. Good night. Love you all. Jacob, the one up top.